Hey guys, it's Dooney here, and I'm making a video on ranking every single TPOT contestant, 1 through 42, in this video. So, yeah, this is not going to be that, scripted at all, really. So it was me, basically rambling on and on about certain characters. Oh, yeah, and also I should mention there will be spoilers in this video for, all the TPOT episodes, 1 through 6. So just make sure to watch those beforehand, or just, spoiler alert, I guess. At dead last, I surprisingly put TV. TV just isn't really much of a character to me. All he really does is just play random clips from older episodes, and just kind of like a minion to Golf Ball. He doesn't do much except for just play old clips, and that's like the entire joke. In recent episodes, they've actually been giving him a voice, which I actually prefer. But more often than not, TV gets barely any screen time. So I just wish that he appears more, and then maybe I'll put him higher in the list. Next up, we have Ice Cube. Ice Cube is one of the most known characters to be hated on because of her bland personality and not really doing much. She stood up to Book in VFB, and that was basically what I see as her magnum opus, where she had a lot going for her in BFB and BFDI, but in T-Bot, she's barely done anything. Reused lines have been a massive problem in this, but it's been fixed in T-Bot 5 and 6, so it's a step in the right direction. Next up, we have Rocky. Rocky I really like in certain ways, but in other ways, I don't like him at all, which is why he's this low on the list. For Rocky, I think it's like he's a little guy, he's a little goober, but other than that, he's kind of just barfs. That's like his entire personality. I really don't like that part of him because he does it and messes up like the entire S team in challenges, which can be a major disadvantage to trying to win. And like in Teapot 6, where they puke or Rocky pukes in the cereal, that ruined the entire team's product. So I just think that Rocky is not as good of a contestant as a lot of the ones higher up on the list. But he's good as a silly little contestant. Which, speaking of silly contestants, we have the next one. All right, next up we have Grassy. Which, it's a little sad that the last three contestants that I've discussed are all, like, more of the silly joke characters. I'll have you know that I do actually like silly characters. We're gonna get to one of my favorites that is just a goofy character. My friends do know probably who I'm talking about, but you'll find out when I'm getting up higher on the list. But Grassy I don't like because he just says one line. Like, he'll say other things, like, I could give a good example at the top of my head, but he usually just says the one-off line, "I'm Grassy," and it's kind of silly, but like I want to see more of a dynamic between him and Snowball. All right, I wanted to mention that was like my D tier ranking, and now we're moving up to C tier, and this is probably the most surprising pick I can probably think of out of all the contestants here. I haven't seen anyone really hating on this character before, up until now. So, like, any of the videos I've seen. So, yeah, this is where my opinion gets a little rough. I don't like Marker. I'm a massive fan of Death Pact again, which you'll see later on. But Marker, I really don't like him. I don't think he's really that funny. I just don't think that he's that good of a character. He says a couple good lines, like, it's gamer o'clock or stuff like that. But I just don't like Marker. I mean, a lot of my friends like him, and I think he's okay in some regard, but he's very overrated with votes and everything, which isn't really his fault as a character. But, I mean, I feel like at certain points I do think to myself that if Marker wasn't as overrated as he is, I wouldn't hate him as much. Like, I think he would make B tier if he didn't have this many votes. So I'm just saying, Marker, as a character, has gotten better from BFB. I do see him going up my list a little bit more, but I just think that he's for now. Alright, at 37, we have Yellowface. Yellowface is another character where I don't really like him in what he does. The ads are actually the only really good part of Yellowface to me, and whenever they do have a Yellowface ad, I think it's pretty funny. It's good. I think, other than that, I don't really see what's so cool about Yellowface, except for the ads, and I guess the hand-drawn style is kind of cool. it separates it from the rest of the contestants, and it's pretty silly seeing that because the S is full of tons of nice little goofy characters, and Yellowface fits right in. And I think Yellowface works really well with like Bottle and Winner and Rocky, and I think I'm excited to see more Yellowface. But for now, I do think he's C tier. The last person to discuss on C tier is Pen. Pen, like Marker, is a very overrated character to me, and especially back in BFB, I would watch a lot of the BFB My Way or Who Wins the entire show, and I would always see Pen. Pen is like, I think him, similar to Ice Cube, hit a magnum opus, but in BFDI. BFDI, I think, was the best part of Pen, where he was more of a cool, laxed, goofy character. And I would say in TPOT, he's remained nothing. He's had several, I guess, like maybe like 1 or 2 conversations with the racer, but other than that, I don't think they've talked, like, at all. It's kind of sad because I want to see more of those two talking, as like they're kind of like a duo. Trio with Blocky, but Blocky's been gone. But I want to see those two interact, and maybe I think Pen will go higher because of that. Alright, now we're entering the B tier. This tier has the most amount of contestants at... I'm looking at the image right now. It's around like 22. So we have a lot here. I'm going to go through all of them at a decent pace. And with this, we begin with Belle. Belle is a nice character. I think that she's kind of bland in certain points. That's why she's the lower half of B tier. I think that Belle has a lot of potential, though. She's one of the most interesting, like, designed characters because she has no arms, no legs. She can basically fly. It's pretty cool. Sometimes the string isn't even there. But I think Belle is pretty funny, I guess, at certain points. Especially, like, the little gag in Teapot 2 of her screaming at a racer and getting Snowball to try and kill him. That was pretty funny. I think that Belle is pretty nice. I think that she has a lot going for her, and I'm excited to see more of her in future Teapot episodes. Now we have the first ever eliminated from Teapot, Pie. Pie has been my least favorite Death Pact member since the start. She's really bland, and she stays really nonchalant and calm. However, like, sometimes I wonder what would happen if Pie was the one eliminated in Death Pact in BFB4, and Lai was on Death Pact again. I think that outcome would be much cooler, but Pie getting eliminated in Teapot made a really good first boot, and I think that Pie getting eliminated first made sense. So that's why she's down here. Alright, next up we have Coiny. This is a very controversial pick, I would say, because Coiny had a lot of great moments. In BFB especially, with the Pin and Coiny arc against, like, not against a loser, but having the two be worried, or Pin being worried and Coiny basically reassuring her. I think that was a really cool dynamic, and them being friends since Wobunch was awesome. However, in Teapot, it's been a little rough. I'll discuss more about this when we get to Pin, which is upcoming, but for the meantime, let's get to the next pick. Snowball. Snowball I initially was going to have much, much lower, but he used to be one of my least favorite characters, I think down in D tier. But I started to realize, at least he has a character. At least, like, mean characters getting out first has always been, like, an archetype in all big shows, and I'm happy that they didn't do that with Snowball, with the vote to save thing happening. Snowball's getting fans, and I can kind of see why. He provides, like, a strong asset to the team, and he's able to do challenges pretty well and help out the win. I think he isn't really that bad to see on screen. I think I like him, and I think he's definitely going up there in the ranks for me. Next, we have Naily. Naily is another character that's basically associated with, like, a one-time joke, where she just makes nail puns. But I think that she has a lot of potential. I think in Teapot 1, I really saw that Naily and Price Tag would be friends. Like, they'd be like, you know, like an iconic duo. But that never really got fleshed out, because Naily got eliminated pretty early in Teapot 5, I believe, with Remote. So Naily's never really going to get up higher in this. I think Naily's going to stay in this exact rank in B tier, but, you know, we'll see what happens. Cake is next on the list. Cake is pretty good at times. I think Cake has a lot of potential, and I think having him have much more growth from BFB, as he was mainly associated with loser, and now that he's basically on his own and basically like learning how to be a part of a team, without Loser. It's pretty interesting. He hasn't mentioned Loser at all this season, so I think that's for the best. And Cake is going up. Yeah. Tennis Ball is a character that's mainly hated by a lot of people because of his, what people say is simping. I think personally, Tennis Ball can be good, but I really don't think that Tennis Ball has much without Golf Ball. Whenever you see them on screen, they're always together as they're like kind of like a duo, but I rather see them when they're separate. Now we have Pin. I personally don't really have any strong opinions towards Pin. I think she's alright. If she's on screen, I'll be like, okay, that's cool. But I don't really get angry whenever I see Pin and what they're doing with the character. I think it's a little off because she's not acting like she did back in BFB, and her conversation in BFB 6 was really awesome. But I think the storyline isn't fully finished, and I think there's still some more time to do with that. And I think before we start judging, I think we need to see a little more of what the writers do. But that's just my opinion. Needle is a really good example of separating a character from their gag. Needle is a very, very nice character in TPOT. She isn't really associated with the "don't call me needy" kind of gag anymore, as she's more of a challenge, not challenger, but she's really good at challenges, and she really helps her team. TPOT 2 is a really good example of her climbing up the thing and cutting it up with saw. That was a really climbing up the blocks. That was a really good example of Needle being good. She's very fast. She can help the team go in certain directions and really high speeds. So I really think that Needle deserves to stay in the competition. I didn't like Needle that much at first, but she's been really good. She's been really growing on me. Next up is Foldy. This character is also very hated by people, but what I see her as is a character with a lot of missed potential. What she did in Teapot 2 and her talking with Eggy, she just became kind of bland without Stapy. I think the thing is, with a lot of characters, they require another character to be with them and have the duo be a part of a thing. Like, they're, like iconic duos, like having one without the other can be tricky. But I think certain ones I can definitely see something like happening with, like Golf Ball and Tennis Ball. Like, Tennis Ball can become more of his own and be able to do things for himself, maybe stand up a little bit, I don't know. And Foldy, I think, is a character that her against Iance was very interesting. I think that her having that grudge would have been really cool to see in Teapot, like maybe against Snowball or something. But, that's all I'm saying. I think that Foldy is a very interesting character, and I don't really hate her that much, as a lot of other people do. But I think that it'd be really cool to see more of her if she debuts again, or rejoins. And Golf Ball is next. Golf Ball, I think, is okay. She's alright. Nothing too crazy. I have a friend that really, really likes Golf Ball. Like, they like the aesthetic of them, of her. And I think that it's, Golf Ball's okay. She's just right here. She's in the middle of B tier. She's alright. Eraser. Eraser is a character that was very, very, very low in my rankings before. I think in BFB I made a tier list, and he was all the way in, D tier, if I can remember correctly. His rivalry with Teardrop is so fun to watch, and I really want to see more of that. And Eraser finally getting more things to do in Teapot rather than BFB, where he did, 2 things, I think is really nice, and Eraser is a pretty good character. Cloudy is really cool too. I like the collection idea. I like all of that. It's pretty unique, and it really sucks that he got out so early too. Over Ice Cube, of course. Between the two Teapot debuters, Price Tag is definitely my least favorite. I think Price Tag has a lot of cool opportunity and potential because, their design's really cool. I like that. And I think that they haven't really had a personality that's been really shown yet. I think I'm excited to see what they do with the character, and I really think that Price Tag on Just Not was a good decision as well. Donut is a character which I think he also reached his magnum opus in BFB when he became host. He hasn't really done much since then, especially in Teapot 6 where he couldn't even remember who X was, where basically the entire thing with Donut saying good job today to X in BFB 10 was basically abandoned completely. Book is also a character that was very similar to Pin in BFB, where a lot of people were complaining about what they were doing with Book, and it got all resolved, and I think a lot of people were really happy with the ending with that. But Book hasn't done much in Teapot since then. And I really want to see something happen with that. It was alluded to in Teapot 2 with her talking about, like, she had, like, a fear of other people leaving her, which was, like, an abandonment, allusion to the abandonment of Taco in BFB 3. So I would really like to see that happen again with Book, and the character is also a character that's full of tons of potential and stuff. If given the choice between TV and Robot Flower, I'd choose Robot Flower any day. Robot Flower is so much more interesting, and she can help the team. She has, like, a little shop. It's so interesting, and I really think that she has a lot of potential, too, and so excited to see more of her in the season as well. Barf Bag is a character that I think is okay. B tier as a whole, I think, could be ordered any way, basically. Some characters I would say are higher than others, but this B tier ranking is just full of tons of characters I think are okay or better, and Barf Bag is one of those characters that I think is okay. Barf Bag hasn't done much. She was really good with Spongy, but since then, she's kind of I see Lightning as more of a clumsy archetype, and he's trying his best to prevent death and be helpful to the team, but in certain points he doesn't do as good. And I think Lightning as a character is pretty alright. I would say Lightning at B tier is a justifiable thing. I haven't never met someone that said that Lightning is their favorite. Oh wait, no, I remembered one. Okay, well, Lightning I think is okay. That's where I'm placing Lightning. Remote is a character a lot of people regret not saving in Teapot 4, which she was a very, very, very good character before, it's the tragic demise of Teapot 4. Remote was really interesting. I liked her text-to-speech voice. I think her robot aesthetic was much more well done than TV's was. And I would rather see Remote debut out of all the contestants that were eliminated so far. Maybe Fries. We'll get there, though. Nickel is good. Case closed. Now we have Saw. Saw is alright. Like, she's cool. A lot of people don't like the 8-bit. I thought it was okay. I think it didn't really get annoying to me. I thought it actually disappeared in BFB 15. Like, for the longest time up until, like, Teapot 1, like, the time between those two episodes, I was thinking that Saw completely ditched the entire idea of screaming 8 because of the happy thought thing and her getting rid of the fumes. But nope, she still has them. And I think that joke was the reason why she got out, which is sad because I didn't think it was that bad, but a lot of people did not like it. Eggy. I really like Eggy. Eggy's a nice character. Apoy is a big Eggy fan, and I would say Eggy's pretty good too. I think not my favorite character, but Eggy's definitely up there, and she's pretty nice. I think her dynamic with Teardrop was really cool, and I'm sad that she got out because that couldn't have been further expanded upon. And here we are in A tier. So now with A tier, we go into the 5 characters that are put here. First is Teardrop. Her joining was a shock to a lot of the community, and I was one of the people that was kind of all for it. I knew that her disappearing in BFB 30 was really suspicious, and I think I didn't really know where they were going with that. But her appearing in Teapot was a nice surprise, and I'm so excited to see more of her and have her be like the underdog to the entire show, as she's basically caused tons of chaos, and I really like to see that side of TD. Speaking of chaos, we have Pillow, and Pillow has grown a lot since BFB. She's become more of a sociopath, not caring for anybody, and it's kind of crazy to see, because she is nuts. She's destroying Bommy, she's destroying tons of stuff, and I think Pillow as a character has become much more likable in Teapot, as she's, become not as likable to the cast, but more of a likable person or character to a lot of the community. A lot of people really like her now, and I would say I think she's much more interesting from her curious personality that she had in BFB. She's much more evil, I guess. Now we have Fries. Out of all the characters on this entire list, I would say Fries has climbed to the top the quickest. Fries was all the way in F tier. I would say, I'm pretty sure Fries, I think there was like 2 characters in my F tier. If we're doing a BFB tier list, David would be down there, and I'm pretty sure Fries was down there too. And Fries has gotten all the way back up to A tier. And I think that was all done within TPOT 5. His like friendship with Puffball is so interesting to see, and I'm really sad that he got out in TPOT 6, because that would have been really awesome to see those two work as a little duo and split off from Are You OK? But, too bad, I guess he got out. Oh, we have Puffball. Puffball has been a character where a lot of people were a little iffy on because of BFDIA 6, and she, basically abandoned everyone because of the prize thing. And I thought that Puffball having this little evil side as well was really cool to see. She's similar to Pillow in different ways, as she just causes tons of havoc with other teams. But with Pillow, I think Pillow just does it just to have fun, while Puffball is just causing havoc. I think Puffball is really cool, and I think her causing the Teapot for, Death Pact again loss was pretty bad. But other than that, I think Puffball's alright. I mean, good. What am I talking about? Now we have Clock. Clock is good, but I think in Teapot, he hasn't been as good as he was in BFB. I really liked Clock in BFB a lot. He had more of a upfront, more voice of reason personality, similar to the next character I'm going to talk about. But I think Clock was much better in BFB as he was in Teapot. But, he's a good team leader in Teapot, and I think him being the voice of reason in the S is also pretty cool. Now we have Gady. This is S tier now, and Gady is a great character to start it off. Gady, she's been awesome. I think her dynamic with 2 is really awesome. I really think that she's a good character for her team. Having a team full of tons of old characters like Donut, Coiny, not Fries, Pin, Needle, and then having Gady and Barfbag on there. There's probably another character I'm just not thinking about right now. But Gady is a great character on the team, and I think she's awesome to see, and I could definitely see her getting really far in the competition. Another character that's went up recently is Bommy. Bommy in Teapot 6 was awesome. I really like seeing that, and I think Bommy is here to stay for a while, unless they start giving him not as much lines as he didn't have. Like, I compiled all the Bommy lines to see how much, screen time he's had, and literally, I'm pretty sure 75% of it was from Teapot 3 to 6. So he's gotten so much screen time now, which is really nice. So the further that a character gets in, the more screen time they get, and that's going to be really good to see for some characters that were really underdeveloped back then. Speaking of underdeveloped characters, we got Basketball, which she is very developed now in Teapot, and Teapot 1 started off with Basketball screen time galore. And it was so nice to see Basketball interact and have a little rivalry with Snowball. It hasn't been as seen recently. She had a little argument with Eggy in Teapot 2, but I would say Basketball is a great character, and excited to see more of her too. Now we got Winner. Winner is also really cool. They actually used to be my second favorite character. They've went down a little bit because I've appreciated 3 a lot more than Winner. But I think Winner is also really cool, and I'm excited to see more Winner as well. They're my favorite Teapot debuter. I would have chose Winner to rejoin or to debut any day out of all of the 26 choices. And actually, Conch is pretty good too. But Winner.
All right, this is a little editor's note, I guess. While I'm editing this, I just realized that basically I incorporated Teardrop to the 42 people, and I completely forgot that Teardrop makes it so it's 43 contestants. So I messed up the entire count and all the numbers and everything. And I don't feel like replacing every single one. So I'm going to say, when I'm saying the bottom 4 here, when I'm trying to say bottom 3, I mean bottom 4. And I am so stupid. I didn't think that it was 43 contestants. I thought it was 42. Looks like I don't know how to count, I guess.
And starting off the top 4, we have Bottle. And I see Bottle as the perfect way to write a silly BFTI character. She used to be my second favorite in BFB. Winner is my second favorite in Teapot back then. Okay, that's a motorcycle. And Bottle, I think, is a really nice character. And her being on the S was a great decision. She's so fun to watch on screen, and I'm so excited to see more content with her as well. Okay, next up in the S tier is Black Hole. Black Hole remains a very calm and nonchalant character like Pi, but Black Hole stays pretty monotone most of the time, except for certain points where he'll, like, show some emotion. And I like that. I like Black Hole, there's a lot of videos about, like, Black Hole having a face, but I like that he doesn't have a face, and it's, like, you can't really see what he's saying, or you can see what he's, like, I don't even know what I'm on about. But I really like Black Hole, and, I think his personality in Teapot 2, with him, getting a little angry and frustrated at other people, I would have loved to see more with, like, him and Penn, maybe, like, a rivalry between those two, because he's told Penn that he's dead to him. That would have been really cool to see. And Black Hole being on Death Pact and talking to everyone else on the team is awesome. I hope one day they do something with Black Hole expressing more anger, because it's something that I really want to see more of when BFDI. I know BFDI is a silly show, and I really think there should be a lot of silly characters, but I think it's good to have some, conflict like that, and I think Black Hole would be a great character to express that, especially maybe, like, sucking things up or having, like, a fit of rage or something, but nothing, like, too crazy, Alright, our final two contestants. At second place, we got Fanny, and Fanny is awesome. I never really cared for Fanny in BFB. I thought she was alright, but in Teapot, I've really changed my mind. I think she's a great way of expressing that kind of, not conflict, but she's also kind of a silly character in a way, and to me at least. I think she's more of a joke character, as she, like, hates everything. It's kind of funny, and some people don't like that, like, just saying, I hate everything gag, but I think her expressing anger towards other things that's just not saying I hate everything is also pretty cool, and Fanny's, really nice. I don't know. I would say Fanny's up there with the greats here. Now we have my favorite character of all time. Since the beginning of me watching BFB and all of that, I started watching BFB in November of 2020. No, not 2020. 2017. And when the show was first coming out, and immediately, Tree was my favorite character. Now, I know a lot of people like him because of his voice, but I see him as more of, like, a mature character, similar, like, I really like Voice of Reason characters, and I think Tree remains a good Voice of Reason, and I want to see him be more of a team leader in future episodes, as Death Pact again is getting shorter and shorter. I don't know if he's getting out or not. We'll see. Hopefully not. I voted him.
I'm so excited to see Tree, hopefully, in more future episodes, as he's just gotten better and better throughout these episodes. He was very different in BFB, and I still think that Tree has a lot of potential, and it's going to be so exciting to watch more content with him. And, I really think his mature personality is very good for Death Pact again, and I think his ideas can help Death Pact. It's just they keep prioritizing preventing death, and then it's causing their downfall. Alright, I'm just setting this, like, portion of the video just to say thank you to Jack and Jellyfy. Thank you to all the animators, all of the crew, the voice actors, to putting the show into life. I really, really, really like all the characters. I like all the characters. I think some of them are worse than others, but I honestly think they're all good in their own ways. So I'm just surprised he can give this many likable characters of a cast of 43, and I honestly thank you for giving me this show to watch throughout my childhood, I guess. I don't know, but it's been great. Thank you. Also, one last thing. This video did take me a while, so if you want to like and subscribe to see maybe an Exeter ranking and the other BFB contestants that I didn't rank yet, then I can do that. And also, don't argue in the comments over certain characters, because it's all opinions, and, I respect yours for yours, and I think mine's a valid opinion as well, because, it's an opinion. And just thanks to the Jack and Jellyfy animators and crew, because all credit to that. All the clips are credited to them. So, thank you.